What's happening?
How you been, bro? What you been up to, man?
Not much, bro. Chilling, do my thing.
How's it feel to be back? Me and you kind of came back the same time.
Honestly, bro, feels I don't know, feels good, man. It's
Yeah.
like feels like you're forced not to do your job, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Because
Well, before we get into that, let's just kind of go back to like where it all started. Like, uh, let's just say, Jaylen's first day coming onto the server. Uh, like, what made you even want to get into NoPixel?
um, well, Jaylen first day on the server. I don't know. Me and the boys, like most of the street team boys, we used to play on different server,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever happened there led to us like needing to find a new server, and we're like, fuck it, man. Might as well try no pixel, right? It's
Yeah.
like the best you can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we applied, all of us got accepted, whatever. And yeah, we linked up on no pixel, started doing our thing. You know how everybody starts off like grinding small shit,
Mm-hmm.
try to make connection, talk to people and shit.
So did you have like a plan, or was it just like, man, I'm just gonna like kind of like freelance
Uh,
this?
we didn't really have a plan. We knew that we have our own group of people, you know.
So
We
so who did you come in with? Are they still around or?
um most of them, yeah. We first started off with like me, Bill Bleach, Billy from Street Team, Bill Blicky. We had a couple other homies that don't play anymore.
Hmm.
We had obviously Ashtray. He don't play really Ashtray anymore. He he plays Cobb mainly now. But yeah, we had like 4 or 5 people. A
Nice.
Shankil that's now in the Mandem. But
Who
yeah, we
who's
had
it? Who's in the man now?
Shankil.
Okay, okay.
He was one of the Street Team boys that we had to kind of kick out of the gang for reasons and shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we had like a group. We had like a solid group of like 4 or 5 people that like wanted to, try it out, see where it goes. We didn't really have a plan, you know what I'm saying?
So
Kind of roll with whatever happened.
what was that like? Cause at that time, what like there was a queue and stuff. So like, how was it? Like, were you guys running yeah, like NA or
No, no, we started off EU.
EU?
We would like wake up 6:30 in the morning. Felt like I'm going back to fucking school.
Yeah.
Wake up like 6:30 in the morning, queue up. Either make it. If you make it, like it was very rare that all of us made it.
Mhm.
Either make it with like one other person, or you like make it all alone and you just fucking gotta go on your own, do your own thing for like a couple hours until everybody else manages to get on, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, how long was that? Like, how long was that process? Like, was that a couple months? Was that a year? Like, how long was that like process of just like kind of getting in EU and just kind of grinding it out?
That was for a couple months. I would say like 5 or 6 months, I think.
So, did you ever feel like you saying you mentioned you woke up at like 6:30? Did you ever feel like yo, I can't do this no more? Like, what kind of kept your drive? Because people don't realize how because most of their favorites are like they have prio and stuff because they've been in the server for years. But like to be a newcomer in the server, people don't understand how hard that is. Like just just the outside of outs, not even being in the server, just like trying to get in and all that stuff as a crew, as a group. So where was
Yeah.
your like mental state? Was you like fuck it, I'm gonna give up, or like did you go through any of that?
Um, there was a point where it was like, bro, why are we even doing this, you know?
Hmm.
Um, but I feel like it kind of happened at a good time for us where COVID happened.
Mm.
So, you know, we didn't really have anything else to do, lockdown and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like the whole first couple months of no pixel for us was like COVID and lockdown, so we didn't really have any other choice. Plus, there wasn't anything else to play, so I mean, a couple of the boys gave up. To be honest, like 3 or 4 of the boys that wanted to play originally, like they gave up because they didn't want to do the queue stuff, you know.
Yeah,
But
because you're in the queue like 9, 10 hours.
oh man, that was
Yeah.
so server restarts every 12 hours for those of the people that don't know, and there was days where you would be in the queue for like 11 hours and like 50 minutes, and you get on the server, pay your loan, and that's it. Server restart. Literally.
Yo. And then you get right back to the back of it. You're like, fuck,
Yeah.
man. Like, what? Yeah. I
And
remember a time where I don't know what was going on with my 5M, but it would freeze sometimes. So like sometimes I come back and it'll say an hour and 40 minutes, and then I'll come back like half an hour later and it'll say an hour and 40 minutes. So it freeze. So like, you got kind of got that
yeah.
10-minute grace period. So
Yeah.
we was waiting in the queue like EU one time, so that's like nighttime my time. So it's like 2 a.m. So the service starts 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. And bro,
Yeah.
I was waking up every 10 minutes just to check that my shit wasn't froze. And then we had to get in at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m.
I
Yeah.
kind of used to do the same thing, but I would like wake up at 6:30 in the morning. Try to do my wake up in the morning, but obviously you wake up, you miss the queue. What are you gonna do, bro? Back to sleep.
Yeah.
So I would set up alarm like for like 4 hours while I'm in queue. I would have an alarm every 15 minutes. Make sure that one, my queue doesn't freeze up.
Yep.
Two, like you don't load up and you get kicked, and back to the queue you go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. See, and it's crazy because as I said, a lot of people don't know this. Like they don't know the hustle and the fight to like even get in. So now you start getting in. You saying you're grinding. You have a couple of your guys. So what was the process after that? How did you meet CG right away, or what came after that? You're in a server for
Mm,
a couple months now.
I feel. I think it was like a couple months after we are on the server. The first time we interacted with Wayne, we didn't really meet anybody from CG because we used to play EU, and
Mm,
Wayne was the only person around those hours.
yeah,
And like sometimes Vinny, the late in the restart.
yeah,
But I think it was me and Lil Bleach fishing, and we're like right up to Wayne's weed farm where he used to have it on that little dock up in Sandy.
mm-hmm.
And Wayne walks up to us. He's like, "Yo, anybody got bands they want to sell? Because remember like the fish you get, like you can get bands and
Yeah,
stuff."
yeah.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, I have some. Here, I'm gonna go get him. I'm gonna link up with you." He gave me his phone number, whatever. We went, grabbed all the bands, sold it to him. And then we started talking, and like I think it was his weed farm. And he was like, "Oh, I'm like trying to scout it because there's people coming in and stealing because can walk in through the roof and stuff, and people are stealing my weed." So we're like, "Okay, yeah, we'll keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. If we hear something about people stealing and shit, trying to resell it." At that time, Billy was working at Smoke on the Water down on Dean's World,
Yeah,
and there was this group of people, like it was like 4 people, like a group of like 4 friends or whatever. All 4 of them called him at like in like 5 minute periods, like one after another, right? They're asking, "Oh, what do we do with this weed? How do we sell it on the streets?"
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, where did you guys get this weed?" They're like, "Oh, we found it." And then
Mm,
he linked up with him, and it was he got the weed, whatever, and then turns out it was those people stealing from Wayne. So we're like, "Oh, Billy has their phone numbers. We know who they are now. We can tell Wayne who's doing it." Then me and Billy going to link up with Wayne and Cheddar, I think. We're linking up at Red Garage to tell Wayne about all that shit. And then he was like, "Oh, well, if you guys find these guys for me, I can get you some work." And you know, we linked up with the other boys. And Wayne wanted us to kidnap one of them, right?
yeah.
Like, "Oh yeah, we see what I can do. Might be a little hard, blah blah blah." And then within like 30 minutes, we're like, yo, Wayne, where you at? We got these boys. He's like, yeah, bring them to the lighthouse. We pull up and we have like the whole crew, bro. We kidnap like the whole group of people.
So how many people were that?
It was like 4 people, I think. It was like the whole group.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I remember at the time it was like Curtis, Wayne, Vinny. Vinny had his dog eat them. And yeah, that's pretty much how we started. Then Wayne showed us all about the weed stuff.
So I guess Wayne kind of originated it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now, is it like, is it kind of like, yo, you my dogs, you kind of work for me type shit, or was it like, man, I want you to be CG street team, like hot, like, or was it like kind of
Well,
unspoken type shit?
it was I would say it was unspoken because he never really mentioned CG. It was like never really CG never really came into the conversation.
Mm.
It was like, oh, I'll show you guys how to do this, but I'm gonna let you guys do it, but you gotta do it for me as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, 'cause, I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, packing like weed boxes was like 2.5 minutes per box. So a weed run will take like 25 minutes to box.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And obviously, Wayne Woodham didn't want to spend his time doing that shit, so
He let you
we
guys
started
do
doing
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So then,
now, you and your boys, the guys you came in with originally. Now you guys are like, I guess per se, got action. You guys are like, you kind of working for the underboss type shit, right? So,
yeah, so before we get there, so I remember when we first learned about the weed boxes and stuff and the baggies and selling it.
hmm
He was trying to show us how to do it, and it was like him and like four of us, and we didn't want to just sit at the packing spot, so we're like across the street from it. And he was packing weed in the meantime, and we see GSF pull up, and they steal his weed, and they try to hold him up, and we just like three of us ran across the street, and we like held up GSF, got Wayne's weed and shit back. And he's like, "Oh, damn, that's some gangster shit." And he was
So
like,
wait,
"I'm
GSF was moving like that back then?
yeah." They're trying to take Wayne's weed and shit
Mm,
because it was like on their turf, right?
yeah.
Everybody cared where the weed spot is. So we did all that, and he was like, "Oh, well, now I feel like I owe you guys, so I'm gonna show you how to sell the baggies." Because first he was just showing us how to pack it and give it to him, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, now you guys help me out, so I'm gonna help you out. And we went to the store near the south side, near the GSF turf. That's where he first called us his street team, and we kind of stuck
Mm,
with it.
sick, 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 sick. Um, so now you become like, yeah, the street team, whatever. So you guys are, street team makes sense. You guys are handling the streets, right? Like all the shit that's kind of like above CG, below CG, right? Uh
Yeah.
so now you guys are, with the weed now, was you guys controlling the weed market, or was it just selling for Wayne, or did it become bigger, like when, like, because I know when I got in,
Um.
Pigeon was doing the weed, so I don't know how far that was apart.
At that point, was a lot of people were trying to do. So we're kind of trying to prevent like random people that random people from doing it, or people that are not affiliated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because all the packing spots were in like gang turf, and because of Wayne, we're like good with the gangs, and we're like, yo, we kind of tried to hold this shit down. They're like, yeah, do your thing. So no matter where it was, gangs would like pull up on us, like, oh, who's this? We're like, yo, it's Jaylen. He's like, oh, street team. Okay, you guys are good. Then some random guy pulls up after us, and we're like, who's this? And he's like, oh, I'm this guy. I work for Smoke on the Water. I'm just trying to do a weed run. Like, okay, yeah, we'll take your weed, but you ain't doing no weed run. So we're kind of holding it down.
Yeah.
That's how. That's like the first thing we started doing, trying to prevent kind of like,
So at this point, are you streaming?
no,
Okay, so you didn't you have so you've been in the server for months now and haven't streamed.
Yeah. So at first I didn't even want to do it because I had a little bit of a shit PC.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't a shit PC. I just had a shit GPU, so I kind of wasn't able to.
Mm.
Then
So what made you transition into streaming and well, I'm guessing you got a new GPU, right?
yeah, so it was around this time of the year. It was like I think yeah, well I think it was this time of the year. I upgraded into a new GPU,
Mm-hmm.
but during COVID it was like really hard to get one. So
Oh, bro, it was
I spent like 4 months trying to get one,
yeah, it was bad. It was bad, bro.
and then even though I upgraded, I didn't really want to stream. It was like I kind of wasn't feeling it. I was like, what's the point?
So when you say
But
what's the point? Why are you saying that? Like, is it kind of like, like was it like fear?
because
Was it nervousness?
I wasn't really nervous to be honest. It was more of a well, we kind of just doing the dirty work. We just sit at a parking spot, we hold it down, we
Mm.
don't.
So you didn't feel like it would be entertaining enough.
Yeah,
Got you, got you, got you, got you. All
and
right.
then the homie ashtray that you don't play anymore, but it was like, yo, even if you're not doing shit, might as well stream it. You never know what's gonna happen. I'm like, I guess you're not wrong. I'll give it a shot. So I started streaming like when I get on the server. Like, keep in mind, back then we still didn't have prior or nothing. Like you
Yeah,
couldn't buy prior back then, so it was like I get on the server now, I stream for like 6 hours, and then next time on the server could be like in a week.
in a week, exactly, exactly.
And yeah, it was pretty much Ashtray that pushed me to stream, to be honest.
So you touched on something, and I would kind of like you to elaborate because there's a lot of people that gonna watch it like upcoming streamers. There's this thing where it's like, and I've heard a lot of people say this too, like I don't want to stream because there's like there's nothing going on or there's nothing like because you're comparing it to the top guys, right? They always got something going on. It's always
Yeah.
nonstop action, and you're like, well, what is like people are not gonna watch me and blah blah blah. So how do you overcome that? And just kind of go because you know when we look at you now, you're one of like the top streamers. So and you mentioned that this now that back then, how did you overcome that in the sense of you started streaming and like how did you overcome that kind of like mentality?
Um, I would say at first I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna turn on my stream and I'm kind of just gonna do my thing and I'm not even gonna like. I kind of forget that it's there.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's kind of what helped me the most. Like not paying too much attention on who's watching and what's going on in the stream,
Mm-hmm.
but more like just focusing on doing my own thing in the game.
Yeah, like you're not even technically it's like you're not even streaming it, but it's just
Yeah,
on type shit.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm. I think that's a good way to put it because like me as me myself, I go through that too. I don't look at like my view count. I don't look at nothing because sometimes you can get overwhelmed and be like, ah, shit, I'm not doing enough, and you just kind of like gotta let time like judge that itself.
Yeah, kind of. I don't have like on my second monitor where I see chat and shit. I don't have like my viewer count.
Yeah,
Like I don't care about that shit. Cause
exactly.
cause I know some days are like good days, some days are like bad days where views are not as high. But as long as you don't let that shit affect you and like just remember that you're there to do your own thing and like have fun, and the people will still watch that shit. So
Exactly. So, you know, the rise of street team. So now, you're in with, Wayne, you're Wayne's guys now. How does this become a CG thing?
okay, so Wayne used to do like these big grow ups, and I'm talking like, you know how nowadays people grow like 20 plants and they harvest them like 6 times, whatever.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it wasn't like that. It was like you plant once, you harvest, and you destroy the plants and you dip.
Mm-hmm.
So and you can only grow in like certain places. If you wanted like the best weed, you gotta grow in the swamp, for example. And what we used to do is like plant like 200 plants in the swamp,
Damn.
and like we would like sit around, make sure nobody like goes in the swamp or like nobody tries to mess with the plants. And then when they're ready, the CG boys would like pull up in a helicopter or like pull up in like a big convoy, like the quote unquote Changalo cartel, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's how it became a CG thing, because
So they were
the boys really enjoy like the convoys of like us going to the swamp and like harvesting all of the weed and them transporting it like planes.
like, damn, like these boys be putting in work type shit.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, funny enough, the first time Jaylen met K wanted to kill him.
Why is that?
So Wayne was like, "Oh, you guys are my street team. If anybody asks you to kneel, you're not kneeling to anybody, you know?
Yeah.
There's an issue, we handle it. Like, you're not kneeling to anybody, bro. You're nobody's bitch." And when he's like, "Oh, this is the first time we're doing a big grow up with CG involved, right? With like K, Rami, Randy, Vinny." To that point, only our main connect was Wayne. And
Yeah.
like, okay. When he's like, "Oh, I want you guys to meet the rest of my boys, my leader and my OGs, all that shit." He sets up a meeting. We pull up. Keep in mind, I don't like, obviously all see I know who they are, but
Yeah, you're playing
we're not
character
gonna
though.
be like,
Yeah.
yeah. So we pull up to a meeting. You see K, you see Rami, everybody there. They're like, "Steer team, Neo." I'm like, "Bro, who the fuck is this guy, bro? I'm not kneeling to nobody." And because I did Neo, he was like, he kind of had a sidebar with the boys. He's like, "Bro, who the fuck is this guy? I'm gonna chop his head off." Yeah, you can probably still find a video about that
Yeah, I
shit.
gotta
But
go look at that. That shit would be funny.
yeah, we pull up on with this camel outfit so we can hide in the grass in the swamp and shit. This guy's telling me to kneel, bro. I'm like, Wayne has told me I'm nobody's bitch, bro. I'm like, no, no, no kneeling to anybody, bro. And then
Yeah.
this guy is there telling me to kneel. Like, I'm not even introduced to him yet. I don't know who he is. So I'm like, "Oh, my boy is kneel." I'm like standing behind him, like, "Bro, what the fuck are you guys doing?" I started kicking him, like, "Bro, get up."
Yeah, yeah,
And he was like, "Who the fuck is you?" He like had a sidebar with Wayne. He wanted to kill Jaylen and all that.
yeah. Oh man. So what? I'm guessing he didn't kill you though.
No, no.
Okay.
Then Jaylen had a sidebar with Wayne and shit, and you know was kind of introduced to K, the big boss. You know.
Yeah. The big honcho.
Yeah.
Okay, so now so all that's happening now and now so in that time now like I'm sure you're getting like you're experiencing a lot of love during your stream, no?
Yeah. I don't remember if I was live for that. I'm not sure. I
Well,
think I
like
was.
the merging, I guess, the merging. Like street
Yeah.
team forgot a
So
name.
at that point, I was like streaming like as much as I can, as all the time I'm on the server. I was already like kind of streaming it. Maybe not every day, but like most of the time I was on the server, I was streaming it, and I
Y-
was getting like 7 to like 10 viewers. You know, it was like, but it felt good. You know, it
Yeah,
felt
hell yeah.
like,
10
oh
views feels
shit,
good. Yeah, for sure.
right, bro. There's like 10 people that actually want to watch my shit, and yeah, for the next like 2 months, it was like the same. It was like we would like peak at like if it's something exciting going on and shit, we would be like at like 40 viewers, whatever.
Mm.
And yeah, then at that time it wasn't CG wasn't even like holding down Leo Soul yet, you know. It wasn't the time where anybody like people like CG didn't like have a turf, you know, they're just running around whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think when I got in, because I got in last year, December. I don't or November, one of the two. I don't think CG had a block. They didn't have a block.
No, I think it was like January that they kind of started holding down Luso and shit.
Yeah. So
But like
you at
Dece-
this? Go ahead. What?
December was like a really big month for me personally.
Yeah, cause I see. I was looking at your Twitter. Let me. I just want the correct date. I don't wanna. You had it pinned. Did you unpin? But it. I remember seeing like you saying how you got partnered, right? I think it was like late last year you got partnered.
Oh, I think it was like early this year
Was
actually,
it early
like
this year?
February, I think.
So you've kind of blew up in the last year, no?
Yeah, yeah. It was to put it in perspective, this time last year I had 2,000 followers on Twitch
And your
and
follow count is now what?
like 58,000 almost.
Jeez.
So yeah.
So, in a year you've grown tremendously, like compared to like any average Twitch streamer, right? Um, and I'm sure that's been life changing to you, no?
Oh yeah, 100%. Um, back in December last year, I was like at like 4,000 followers, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and I still had my like 20 something viewers, whatever. I was just rolling around doing whatever, and then at that time I was like getting really close with Hutch, like working with H&O and shit. It was still Hutch's thing back then. Like nobody else but Hutch was learning that, and I started helping him like do everything pretty much like his right hand and shit. And then was like one really big host from like Hutch. They kind of, you know, I think at that time I had like 100 subs,
Yeah.
and like within like 5 minutes of the Hutch host, I was like at like 600 or some shit.
What?
Um,
600 subs you got from
yeah,
the host. Wow.
yeah, it was like 1,000 followers too or some shit. It was some crazy shit. And I'm like, damn, bro. And then in the next couple of days, I noticed like, oh shit, like I went from like averaging like 30 viewers to one night Hutch hosting me to the next 5 days, like next week I'm averaging like 80 viewers to 100 viewers.
Jeez.
I'm like, damn, bro, this guy really changed my life.
Shout out Hutch. Shout out Hutch. Hutch is a nice,
Yeah, bro,
really nice guy. He's just
it really is, man.
he's really
So
genuine. Um, so it's okay. So, and this is just a question for like me, right? Because like I like you said, like because you to me you inspire me because it's kind of like I like how you came in. Like you've always had that. From what I see, is like the boss mindset, and but you'll play your part. You'll put in that work because and that's clearly why you're at the level you're at. Um, but I feel like I have like I feel like one of my weaknesses is like speaking to people, right? Because there's so much big people in the server. I don't want to come off like clout chasing or anything. So sometimes I just rather just not even speak to people unless it's like it like happens or they speak to me. But also like I have friends that be like, "Yo, that's like that hurts you because you're overthinking shit." So
yeah,
because you're telling me, oh, I'm speaking to Hutch, I'm doing this with Hutch, blah blah blah, and like you're really good at like speaking to people and just like interacting. So like, how do you like like how does that come into fruition or?
um well, first of all, when we first came to the server, right, I wasn't in the mindset of like, oh, these are streamers that I've always watched, like I
Yeah,
wonder what it is to meet them. Like, I didn't really give a fuck about it. I was like, oh, well, these people play the server too. That's cool. You know, we're just here to have fun ourselves, you know? And what happens. Um, but yeah, I don't when I speak to someone on the server, I don't like really overthink it of who they are or see. I kinda roll with like the situation and like not really think about it, you know?
Yeah. Eh, and that was like me because I didn't really know nothing about you know, no pixel or nothing. Like I have like, you know, the homeboys I used to roll with who I roll with now, they'll be like, oh, you know you were speaking too, because I don't know, I had no idea who these people are except CG, you know? But and I like it that way because, you know, like you said, you could talk to them like normal and stuff, you know? Um, but like I said, I'm more like, and I'm like that in person. Like if there's like I've been around like a lot of people, like a lot of famous people, but I'm more like, well, chill because I don't want to be like too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you kinda don't wanna force it, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird,
But
yo.
I feel like this is a big part on CG side too, because no matter who you are, they don't really speak to you like they're better than you, you know? It's like
100%, 100%,
that's like I think that's something they do really well. It's like they don't present themselves like they're above everybody.
100%.
And like they don't speak to you like they have this ego of oh, I'm a big streamer, you know. Now why are you talking to me? They're like willing to talk to you, joke around, you know, they won't understand the jokes and all that. I think it's a really big part on them too. Makes it easier.
Yeah, it does, and I did say that like they're like the like you know people could talk shit whatever, but I'm like these guys like they be acting like they just regular, which is good because it's humbling, and but yeah they talk to you like it's normal and it's cool, you know.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna get into like the whole, you know, you put in work for street team, you're running street team, you know, you put in work H&O, uh you start running that. That's when I'm in the server because I don't think Hutch was around when I just came in.
Yeah,
Uh
he quit for a couple months, yeah.
yeah, so you was running all this shit and like you was putting in work and you know, you're becoming a staple, right? You're becoming a staple in the server. What was it? When was it? And what did it feel like when you got prio?
Um yeah, it honestly felt pretty good because you know, at that point, you know, there was still wasn't like the ability to buy prio. Even though it was like just 1 point of boosted prio, it was like still very helpful. We can was pretty much guaranteed that we can get a restart, you know?
Yeah,
If we actually try to, we can get a restart. So if honestly felt good because that way, sometimes you're like in a scenario where shit is going on, you have a lot of shit going on for you. The server restarts and oh, you're fucked. And God knows when is the next time you can get
like
on.
yeah, when am I gonna see you again? Ah, I don't even know, bro.
Next time, bro. It's like
Next time,
I
next
can't
time.
tell you.
Yeah. So
Um,
it was a relief. So now are you getting in every day?
yeah, it was yeah every day.
And
Um,
you're at a point where you're confident. You're not confident and comfortable just streaming. It's second nature to
yeah,
you.
yeah, it was like I wouldn't be on the server without streaming, and I'll be on the server for like 12 hours every day. I think at what one time I was like from like December to like I want to say like maybe like May. I did not take a single day off.
Jeez. So every
Not
day,
as
Sunday, Monday, Sunday through Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, Sunday.
No matter if I felt like shit, if I feel like shit, I'll still be on the server like streaming like 6 hours. If I felt good, I'll be on the server streaming for like 10 to 12 hours. Like it didn't matter, right?
And
I
you
remember one time I was like sick with COVID. I can barely talk, but I was still on the server grinding, you know?
and this is why I like these this podcast shit I'm doing because it gives you the insight because people just see the top, you know, like oh, they'll say, oh, Jaylen, yo, he's popping like, but they didn't see the 10,000 hours he put in. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
didn't see the all the bads and all the lows you had to go through to get to where you're at. They just see, oh, boom, boom, boom. And you know, for people who really want it, like it's hard work and dedication and you got to keep going. You know what I mean?
yeah. Um, yeah. At one point, I remember like the last couple months of the year, I was like, the whole time I was like, I was in queue, and then while I was in queue, I was going to like job interviews, trying to find a job, right? I'm like,
Jeez.
okay, well, funds are running low. I'm gonna need a job, right?
Yeah.
Then I finally got a job. I was like, okay, well, I have, I have like a month left because I was like, I found a job right before like Christmas or the holiday season.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, well, it's not really point starting now. Work for a week and then take like 3 weeks off holiday or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna start in January. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So at that period of, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna enjoy this shit to the fullest. Like, I'm gonna do as much as I can because I know as soon as I start work, that's it.
That's
No
it.
more. Like 9 to 5, then get home and what, stream again all night, and then 9 to 5 again. No, I was like,
And at that time, you probably couldn't even get in the queue anyways because you missed it.
yeah. Um. So yeah, it was like that. It was I was like, I was enjoying like my last period of nopixel because I was gonna stop playing. I was like, I was gonna quit it. Fuck it. Like, I need the money, right? I can't just live off this, play games all my life
Yeah.
if I'm not making money. And
Eh,
then the hurt shit happened, and I was like, fuck it, bro. I'm pulling the trigger. I can see that it's worth it now.
Yeah.
I was like, I have like 300 subs. Yeah, it's not a lot, but you're still making like minimum wage, whatever you wanna call it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So like, fuck it. Well, I'm gonna take a chance, and I called in. I'm like, yo, listen, I know I was supposed to start in January, but you know, I found something better, and I want to take the chance and risk it. So I was like, you know what, I'm quitting this. I'm not gonna take it. I'm gonna keep streaming.
The,
Luckily for me, it paid off.
the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward.
Yeah.
Got you. So the Hutch thing happens. All this shit is going smooth. Um, you know, you're building OOC too. You're building your brand OOC. You know, you're becoming the elite streamers. Now, how did you get into CG? How did you get invited? What was that like? What was the build up? Did you know? Was you surprised? Like, I need to know like
um,
all the juicy details.
I mean, it's not really juicy. I honestly think it's funny because I remember CG was at war with somebody. I don't remember who it was. Might have been like GG or something, but
Mhm.
I remember it was a war, and we're like posted up in Little Seoul waiting for those guys to push up, be ready, right?
Yeah.
Then gunfight happens, we clap them, whatever, and we just, how after a gunfight or like after fighting a war, you kind of like have this little meeting, you talk about shit,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, all I'm the only body without a chain there, and everybody's wearing their chain, everybody's proud, oh, it's CG, we smoke these guys, whatever. And the AK looks at me, he's like, Jay, why are you not wearing your chain? I'm like, 'cause I don't have one. Like, what? I thought we gave you a chain like 3 months ago. I'm like, nah, you never did. He was like, okay, let's go get you one. That was kind of
Jeez.
how it happened.
So, how you feeling?
Uh, well, I was like, I wasn't even expecting it.
Yeah.
I never really pushed for it. Never like really like wanted it. It kind of happened.
Yeah. So it was unexpected to you. You was just kind of
Yeah,
doing your thing.
yeah. I was just having fun with the boys. Like at this, this point I was already like good friends with like Rated and shit.
Yeah.
Who like do shit. I was just doing my thing, having fun with the boys, and then that happened. I was like, fuck, bro. You know, how did I even end up here? It was kind of surreal.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so now are you so now you're in CG, you kind of left the leadership as far as street team. So
Um,
in that perspective, this is something you built. You said, "Hey, I don't want to do this no more." Like, what made you go through that? Like, was that like that decision?
it was like obviously now then most of the like some of the CG boys were like taking a break, whatever. Like it was like K and them never really had 6 people, so I would like they would like always invite me to jobs. Like I would you know, start hanging out with them a lot more. So street team was like kind of on the back end at this point. I don't want to say the back end, but I wasn't like really there. And
It wasn't your
every time there was
priority. It wasn't your on your
um,
top priorities.
I wouldn't say it wasn't on my top priority. It was kind of a thing where it just happened.
Yeah.
Like they're on a different schedule. I was on a different schedule a little bit. I was more on a schedule that kind of linked me with the CG boys more.
Yeah.
And I would like get on the server. I'm already with the CG boys, and then some of the street team boys would wake up and they'll be like, "Oh, there's nothing to do for me, so I'm going to sleep." It was I kind of felt like it was like expected from me to like find shit for them to do,
Mm.
and I just tried to do my own thing at the time. And every time there was issues, it was like, "Oh, well, we have this issue because we're not doing anything. It's because Jaylen's not here."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, I'll try to put in more work, blah blah blah." It happened like twice, like same thing. Like
So you
we don't
felt
have
like all the
people.
pressure was on you. Like if you don't move, no one moves. Like you wanted
Yeah,
more. I got you.
it was like it was always a thing where it was like kind of get blamed on me, like, "Oh, we don't really have people. Like we need to find new people." I'm like, okay, well, how does that fall on me? Because you guys are early in the morning, like EU hours. I'm like late, like I wake up like NA hours, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, how do you expect me to find people for the group you're hanging out with? But I'm not even there. I don't even know what you guys do. Why don't you guys find your own people? And then,
Like you're giving other people opportunity to step up and take some leadership
yeah.
roles. Got you. Yeah.
And even though I did that, it was like still the same issues being brought up. Like, oh, we're not really doing anything because you're not there. Like, you don't even hang out with us. I'm like, well, okay, well, you know what? This has happened. This is like the third time this shit is being brought up. Like, I'm kind of over it at this point, right? Like, okay, well, I don't want to be the leader anymore. I'm not gonna leave street team, but I don't want to be the leader anymore. Fuck that shit. Like, if every issue that comes up is like always me, like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah. And so at that time, you say that, and then a bunch of people just leave street team.
Yeah, it was like it was a lot of it was kind of stressful, to be honest, because it was like people would bring up issues and I'm like, well, what are you gonna do about it? Because you're bringing up the issue. Obviously, you're the only one that have the issue. What are you gonna do about to
Yeah.
fix it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not gonna do anything. You're the leader. You should fix it. I'm like, well, okay, well, here you go. Now you're the leader. Now you fix it.
Mm.
Like, well, I don't want to fix it. I'm just gonna leave, kind of deal.
So now street team kind of pretty much falls apart, right? Um. The main guys like Forehead leaves. He goes to GG. Uh, Bleach, unfortunately, Free Breach, he gets banned. I would say more of the main characters, Pigeon, he's still down, but Pigeon kind of has his own kind of thing that he
Yeah.
does, which I love, by the way. So at this point, you're just kind of over it. So how does the, you know, I see Street Team slowly rebuilding. Um,
Um,
how do you find these people, and how do you
I
not
feel
get into?
we already had the people.
Mm,
It was more of like, okay, well, I'm no longer part of the picture, but whatever you need for me to help you get there, I'll help you. And people like
you guys
DJ
had
stepped up.
Richard too, right? You did guys have Richard, right?
No, no, we didn't.
Oh, I thought you guys had him.
He was never like part of street team. He was like just hanging around. But
Oh, got you.
Boca, when he left, like, I mean, when he got kicked out of Boca, like a week later, I think we offered to merge with Boca, and I think only Stoney stuck around, to be honest.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had Ace that's now in Hyder, but when Four had left, he was like, "Oh, it's not really something I want to be a
Wait,
part of."
Ace is Hydro?
Yeah,
I
Ace.
did not know that.
Yeah, the purple Boca
I thought he was Street
Ace.
Team.
Um, he was going to be. It was he left just like a couple days before we are gonna blood him in. So, but
Okay.
yeah, a lot of people stepped up. Like Stoney stepped up.
Stone's a real one.
Yeah, Stoney stepped up heavy. Cause he's the main reason. Like, cause he was already friends with like Ant and like Leon and Ace.
Yeah.
So he was like, well, the gang needs people. We need like good homies to hang out with. No, I'm just gonna link up with this guy, see what happens, and then he's the one that brought in the new people.
Got you. Yeah, because Stone and Anna are cool. I know that.
Yeah.
Um. So how do you not run into the same problem you was running into before?
Um, I feel like it's because the people we have now,
Yeah.
ev- I mean, I wouldn't say that like have a set goal. They just enjoy hanging out with each other, and like they don't like to just sit around and question what's going on and what are we gonna do today. They get on, they link up, and they start doing shit instead of just wondering what the fuck they're gonna do.
Yeah, they're not standing around like, yeah. That's a that's yeah, I see the team is very effective. I see it. There's a lot of guys that
Because before it was like Lil Bleach more worrying about like um well, what are we gonna do? Because I need to stream, and there's nothing going on. He kind of was worrying about his content and shit.
yeah,
But these boys don't really worry about that. They're like, okay, well, gonna get on, turn on our streams, do our thing.
see what happens.
Yeah,
It's funny because yo, Matt, I'm riding with John now, so it's funny because mad people come on my chat and go, just us, street team need to merge, just us, street team need to merge, and then
yeah,
I was having a conversation with Ming, and then Ming was like, yo, the Just Us boys should come to GG, and what we're doing this in game IC, we're
yeah, yeah,
spicing up the content, and then a bunch of GG fan base was like, yeah, you guys need to go, blah blah. But I just told them straight up, like, I'm not even gonna play. I was like, yo, I wouldn't go to GG. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense for my character IC and just who I am OOC. Like
yeah,
CG and the boys was holding me down. Like if I was gonna merge, it would be over there. You know what I mean? Rather than I'm not just gonna go to GG because people do stuff OOC wise. Like, oh, you go to GG, you're gonna get crazy views, but it just doesn't make sense for me. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I just shut that shit down. And then you got the street team fan base like, yo, merge and merge. and like I said, like I've been having fun, and like the guys, a lot of us kind of knew each other OOC anyways. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's been fun. It's been cool.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, I know some of us would want that, but we also not gonna like force it onto you guys, you know? It's
And
like
which I definitely
we would,
appreciate it.
we would much rather let you do your thing and see how she happens, how she goes. I think like that's the best way to do it.
It is the best way, and you guys have been nothing but welcoming and caring and just like, yo, Zoe, come in, and like, yo, who you got? Those your homies? All right, yo, they are homies too. You guys have been making it happen naturally. You know what I'm saying? And for me
Yeah.
too, my personally is like, I'm like the vibe guy, and also, you don't want to. I don't like to like step on people's toes. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to make people feel a certain way because five guys might want it, but the other two are like, nah, like this is not fair. We've been da
Yeah.
da da da. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
100%.
you gotta like let it vibe a little bit.
Yeah, and I
But
think it's the best way because it gives you time to figure out what you want to do, and then
yeah, and
also gives us time to like meet all your boys and like us to like vibe with them and shit. I think
and
it's just the best way.
yeah, exactly. And I've got a couple cool arcs coming, so I wanna really just push them and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm having fun. Um, so you know what is next for you? What is your goals now that you've achieved so much in such a short time? Like, do you have plans, or are you just gonna go with the flow?
Um, I've never really been somebody that like likes to plan too much for the future, you know? I kind of want to I roll with shit, see what happens and where it goes from there, but I guess my main goal is to like keep consistent, you know?
Keep consistent, okay.
Have fun, keep consistent, like do my own thing and go from there, I would say.
So I gotta ask you this because there's a lot of controversy around you. You know, uh, you know, y- so how do you deal with um a lot of the hate you've gotten, and even when you got banned, a lot of people were celebrating that. And to anybody watching this, getting banned is not something. It's a fucking video game, right? You know what I mean? So celebrating on someone's like possible
Downfall.
demise, yeah, and that's affecting them OOC. It's not something to be, yo, rest in peace, bozo. Like it's a fucking video game we're playing, and we're playing characters.
Yeah.
So
I don't I'll be honest, I don't really let like the small like people that like one in like 10 comments like get to me. But was it's all I mean, I did what I did, right? I fucked up. Like I got banned for a reason. It is what it is. Like deserved. But it's not something I would even on the people I don't like, I would never wish anybody to get like permaban and like them having the chance to like lose their like income and shit, you know?
big
Because
facts.
that's how I look at it. Like, yeah, it's a game. We're there to have fun, but for some people, they've dedicated so much time into it, and they've made it their full-time job, so they can provide people shit and like provide people content. They've dedicated all this time. Like getting permaban is not something I would wish to anybody, you know.
Anybody, bro.
No,
Anybody.
like no matter how much I don't like anybody, it's like I would much rather distance myself than like wish them like shit like what happened to me, you know.
Yeah, for 100% for sure. It's not a joke. It's not a game. And you know, but also people can get frustrated, and you're in the game for like 12 hours, so sometimes you might speak your thoughts and stuff. uh how have you learned to deal with, frustrating moments and not to outburst or say, certain stuff? Like how have you learned to deal with that?
I mean, I kind of look at the permaban as like, yeah, it was bad, but it kind of helped me like realize where how wrong I was going with shit, right?
Yeah.
Now helped me realize that I was going the fucking complete opposite way that I wanted to. And I'm just trying to have the most fun of every situation. No matter if it's like the shittiest thing that happens to you, I'm still gonna try to find a way to laugh about it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how I started, and then I feel like grinding every single day, you kind of forget, you know? Kind of forget how to do that. And I don't know, it's good to find realize where you're fucking up.
Yeah.
It kind of go back, kind of take a couple steps back, be like, oh shit, well, why am I doing all this shit when I know I can, when I know I can be having fun even in the shittiest situation.
Yeah. Exactly. And I like how you kind of said that, like, even though the band did suck, but you've learned a lot from it, and you know, you've took a lot of accountability, and you've improved tremendously. It made you look at certain things different, and I think that's the key, right? Just always have fun in all situations, even if the situation is shitty at that time. Once you go to bed, it's over. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, not, once you get off the server, like that shit that happened to you in the game does not come with you, you know?
yeah.
So like there's no like actual reason to be pissed about shit.
And and to the viewers, we're human. We make mistakes, and when a person's showing that they made a mistake and they took accountability for that, we've got to big that up as much as we big up the negative shit too.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I see. All right, so I think that's pretty much it, brother. I think oh
Oh yeah.
oh so you know you're gonna be starting doing some music.
Oh, hold on. You wanna give them a little sneak peek?
I don't know. You tell me. You tell me what you want to do.
I mean, I don't mind, but yeah, we couple weeks ago we linked up with the boys. Me, Alan. Obviously, by the time this is out, I mean, even right now while we're recording, it's already public that we linked up. So not really a reason to keep quiet about it. But yeah, we linked up with P, Alan from NBC or Chob and Rated. It was a lot of fun, man. And let me tell you, bro, getting in the booth for the first time and recording shit was the weirdest feeling in my life, man.
Why you say that? Why you say that?
Cause I don't know, I never seen myself like do any of that shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
I'm gonna tell you. I heard a verse. I heard
you
a
did.
verse from you. Yeah, and I'm really impressed, bro. Really, really impressed. I
Okay,
would I wouldn't say
appreciate it.
that's your first time in the booth. I wouldn't be able to tell that. Your
And
delivery, everything was really good.
that verse was literally like I would say less than 10 minutes in the booth. Like my first ever like 10 minutes in the
Sheesh.
and obviously big up P Money because
Big P. What was it like meeting P?
oh bro, even on the first you know how I was telling you like oh I don't really like care how the people are,
Yeah.
bro. Growing up in like South London and shit, and hanging out with like the homies and shit, bro. Like we used to listen to P Money before he was like known on nopixel,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when he was like big in the UK, and he was the first person that was like kind of like oh shit, I've known this guy for so fucking long, man, and it's like I've always listened to his music, and now I'm meeting him, now I'm kind of hanging out with him. That shit also felt like surreal.
That's the power. That's the power of the internet. No pixel. You know what I mean? It brings so much different things together. Like unspoken things, unheard of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, what about Rated? What was it like meeting Rated?
Um, I feel like me and like Rated and like Alan, on the even before we linked up and met up like in real life for the first time, we built up this friendship where I can pretty much talk to them like I would talk to my boys, right?
Yeah,
So for some people, Rated is like they're like looking up to him, but for me it was like that's like one of my boys.
that's the homie.
Yeah, so I was honestly when I first met him, I was like surprised because like I never because when we pulled up, he was the only one late, and I was kind of questioning it. I was like, is he gonna link up?
Yeah,
But yeah, man, it was sick. It was sick, hanging out with like P and like Alan and like all of them. But it was sick.
yeah. It must have been. And you guys, you got some sick tunes and beer tunes to come out. Did you do the? Did you get the tune that I sent P?
Um, I don't no, we didn't have time for that one
Oh,
because it was getting late.
yeah, I
But
did kind of send it late.
hopefully
We get it.
can figure some shit out on that. But I don't know the whole atmosphere, man. Like everybody recording, like everybody just having fun recording. Like even if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, it was sick as fuck, man.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping, New Year, next year, I can come to the UK and we we all link up, get in the studio, get in the labs type shit, have some fun, some real fun.
Yeah, 100%. That would be sick.
All right, brother. That was it. We gonna wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like chat. If you want me to ask him any questions, if you want a part two, just make sure you put it in the description. Not the description, the comments.
The
And
comments.
yeah, make sure you like, make sure you sub. We got more shit coming. People really wanted me to interview you because they wanted to see like the come up was so crazy and so much turns and and you're a very laid back person. So people really wanted to, people really wanted to they was DMing me and it was in the comments, yo, get Jaylen on the show, get Jaylen on the show, please, 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 please. So
Oh yeah, well, I'm
I'm
glad
happy to
you're
be there.
having me. Glad you
Appreciate
had
it.
me here. It was fun.
It was fun. All right.